I have been a lurker on these forums for years, but never had the guts to share my story. But here I am. Hey, I'm Mike, so let me get you up to speed. 5 years ago, my wife Amanda told me she was going out for a girls' night out with her friends. I didn't think much of it back then. I was just glad she was having fun. Fast forward to now, I'm up in our attic trying to make some space for new stuff. We have boxes up here that haven't been opened in years. Seriously, there's so much dust, it's like a mini desert. I found an old photo album and started flipping through it. It's a trip down memory lane with pictures from vacations, parties, you name it. But then, tucked between two photos, I find this really old crumpled up letter. I read the first line and it says, "My dearest Amanda." Wait a minute, I've never started a letter like that, so who did? My heart's beating like a drum as I read the whole letter. This guy is pouring his heart out to Amanda, saying how amazing their night together was and that he'll never forget her. And get this, the date on the letter is exactly the same as that girls' night out Amanda had 5 years ago. What's going on? Did she lie to me? My head's spinning with questions. I know it's not cool, but I decided to check her old emails. I'm not proud of it, but hey, wouldn't you want to know? I find some messages between her and a guy named Zack. Bingo, they talk about a special night and how they should keep it a secret. Okay, so now I've got a name, a letter, and emails. Something fishy's going on, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. And that's how I started my own little detective mission. All because of a dusty, hidden letter in an attic. Alright, so now that I've found this letter and those emails, I'm thinking, who is this Zack guy? I remember Amanda mentioned him a few times back in the day, something about working together on a project. But after that project ended, she never talked about him again. Suspicious, right? I do some online snooping. I checked out his social media, LinkedIn, the whole 9 yards. Turns out, Zack still lives in town, and he works at a tech company now. My mind's racing. Should I confront him? What if he tells Amanda? But the more I think about it, the more I realize I've got to talk to this guy. So I put on my best, I'm totally cool, not at all freaking out face and give Zack a call. I made up some story about wanting to catch up with old friends and invite him out for coffee. Surprisingly, he agrees. We meet at this little cafe downtown. He walks in looking pretty much the same as he did in his online photos. We shake hands, order our coffee, and sit down. The chit chat begins. It's all how you've been and long time no see, until I decide it's time to switch gears. I ask about the company he worked at when he knew Amanda. He starts talking and I can tell he's a bit cautious, but then I go for it. So, do you keep in touch with Amanda? For a split second, his eyes give him away. He knows something, and I know he knows. Then he says, Amanda, yeah, we had a thing once, but it was just a one-time deal. We were both going through stuff. It was a long time ago. Bingo. He admits it, just like that. A one-time thing, he says. I feel like a detective who's just solved a big case. Inside, I am boiling, but on the outside, I keep it cool. I say, thanks for being honest, Zack. It's been good catching up. As I leave the cafe, my mind's going a mile a minute. This is my proof. Amanda cheated on me, and now I've got a decision to make. What's the next step? Divorce? Confront her? One thing's for sure, I can't just let this slide. Zack has just confirmed my worst fears. I know I've got to take action, but first, I need a plan. Acting on impulse might make me feel better for a moment, but it won't solve anything in the long run. So, what's the first thing you do when you're in deep water? Make sure you have a life jacket. In my case, that's a really good lawyer. I looked up the best divorce attorneys in town and set up a meeting with one. This guy's office is filled with diplomas and awards. He looks as if he's the real deal. I tell him my situation, show him the letter and the emails, and ask him what my options are. He goes through everything step by step. We talk about assets and finances. Since we don't have kids, that won't be an issue. This is complicated stuff to me, but he makes it easier to understand. He tells me that the more evidence I have, the smoother the divorce process will be. That gets me thinking, maybe I should get more proof just to cover all my bases. Next stop, a private investigator. Yep, I hired a PI to see what Amanda's been up to lately. It's like something out of a movie, but this is my life we're talking about. I want to be thorough. In the meantime, I've got to keep acting like everything's fine at home. Let me tell you, it's like being an actor in the weirdest play ever. I'm making breakfast, asking about Amanda's day, all while knowing I'm about to drop a bombshell. It's tough, but I keep my game face on. Amanda has no clue what's coming her way, and that's the way I need it to be. The PI gets back to me in about a week. He hasn't found anything new, but that's okay. I've already got what I need, and that's what I went with. The lawyer says we're good to go. I give him the green light to prepare the divorce papers. I'm all set. Now comes the hardest part, telling Amanda it's over. So, here I am with my divorce papers ready, my evidence gathered, and my game face on. The time has come to confront Amanda. I can't help but think about how our lives are about to change forever. But there's no turning back now. I've already set this train in motion. I decided that dinner is the best time to do it. I cook her favorite meal, not because I want to make her feel good, but because I want her to know what she's losing. We sit down, and there's this weird vibe in the room. I'm pretty sure she senses something's up, but she can't quite put her finger on it. We eat mostly in silence. My heart is just pounding. Finally, the meal ends, and it's go time. I take a deep breath and pull out an envelope from my pocket. I slide it across the table to her. She looks at me, confused. Then she opens it and sees what's inside. The old letter, the emails, and even a summary of what Zack told me. 5 years, I say, breaking the silence. That's how long you kept this secret. We built a life together, and you never once thought I deserved to know? She starts to say something, but I cut her off. Save it. There's nothing you can say that would change things now. I already have my divorce papers prepared. You have 2 weeks to move out. I'm not giving her a chance to explain or make excuses. She lied to me, and I'm not interested in hearing more lies. The look on her face is priceless. It's like she's just seen a ghost. I stand up, clear the table, and walk away, leaving her alone with her thoughts and the mess she's made. The ball is in her court now, but as far as I'm concerned, the game's already over. So, the divorce papers are filed, and Amanda's moving out. She tries to reach out to me a few times, maybe to explain or seek forgiveness, but I've heard enough. I don't respond. My lawyer tells me things are going smoothly on the legal end. Looks like this is really happening. During this time, I lean on my close friends for support. They're shocked when I tell them what went down, but they've got my back. Some even share stories of how they had suspicions about Amanda, but never wanted to stir the pot. It makes me think how many signs I must have missed over the years, but I shake off that thought. No use dwelling on the past. 2 weeks fly by, and it's the day Amanda has to leave. She's packed up her stuff, and when I come home, she's standing by the door. I can see she wants to say something, but I make it clear I'm not up for talking. She sighs, takes her bags, and leaves. Just like that, 5 years come to an end. The next few months are filled with a bunch of legal documents, meetings, and adjustments. The divorce gets finalized. I keep the house, and we split the savings account down the middle, but that's all she got. Fast forward to now, I've started dating again, and let me tell you, It's weird, but also kind of exciting. I go on this great date with a woman named Shannon. We hit it off, and it feels so refreshing to connect with someone who isn't carrying a load of secrets. I know it's early, but I'm hopeful about what's to come. She really seems genuine. As for Amanda, last I heard, she moved to another city. I don't know if she's dating or what she's doing with her life, and frankly, I don't care. I'm too busy looking ahead. So, there it is, the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. Life threw me a curveball, but I hit it right back. I'm not saying it was easy, but sometimes you've got to tear everything down to build something better. I want to personally thank Tony for allowing